Hello guys, and welcome to a new Steel Division 2 video today by me, Vulcan. In this one I have for you Ghaspar versus ArturoDiaz in round 2 of the first Steel Division 2 championship. Today they are going to be playing on Siedlce, and on the Soviet side we have Ghaspar playing the 3rd Guards Mechanized Corps with the Vanguard deployment type, and on the Axis side we have Arturo playing the 5th Panzer with the balanced deployment type. Quite an interesting matchup. In a 3v3 4v4 scenario, I would say that the 5th Panzer definitely has an advantage, but in a 1v1 scenario where the 3rd has the Vanguard and the 5th has a balanced deployment type, there is a definite opportunity for the 3rd Guards Mechanized to make some plays in the early game. Let's have a look at what the players are putting down. It looks like Arturo is actually going to be focusing quite a lot on the use of these Pak 36s. Now I really like the Pak 36 because they fire very, very quickly. They come with the 2-star veterancy base, which only increases that. And they also have the ability to destroy quite high armored targets at close range. Now that's not going to really need to be the case in this one. Instead, they are more likely just going to be critting things like Shermans for days. But that's going to be accompanied by an MG42 on the top side. Further down we do see Arturo placing some Flammenwerfers with some Panzergrens with Panzerfaust. There's another Pak 36 there and the MG42. In the center we have 2 units of Flammenwerfers, make that 3 units of Flammenwerfers. The MG42, Pak 36, 2 units of Panzergrenadiers. One doesn't have a Panzerfaust there. On the very bottom side we see Panzergrenadiers. Once again, same sort of setup across the board. Pak 36, MG42, 3 Flammenwerfers, 3 Panzergrens. And also additional on this bottom side is going to bring the 259, the 250-10 and another 259 there. Probably going to have a few more points to spend potentially, as he is still placing down some units, so we'll check back on that in just a second. But in the meantime, let's go and have a look on the side of Ghaspar. So Ghaspar on the bottom side, he does have 2 units of flamers, these Ognamachikis. He's got the Avtos there with the Partisans with the DP, and also the 45mm. That's one thing that's pretty good about the 3rd Guards, is they do have the Partisan units. So they do have I think it's a 12-man squad with Molotovs and rifles, which is pretty good. And then they've got the Partisans with the extra DP, which is a 6-man squad. They're not so good, but decent support for your mainline infantry. In this case, just going to be sort of covering the Avtos, I guess. But they are good value for money. They're pretty cheap squads. Anyway, in the middle, 3 units of flamers. Ognamachikis there with the 45mm AT gun. Another 45mm AT gun here. A couple more Partisan DPs. Then we got another Partisan DP there with the 45mm and Avto. And on the top side, we actually see more armor. We've got a Sherman with the Sherman leader and also an Su-85 there, which is an anti-tank tank, basically. Self-propelled AT gun, pretty much. 2 Tango Desantniki in their M5A1 half-tracks. There's the Dozor, which are a recon squad, and 2 Partisani at the back, which are the larger squads of infantry. So, off we go. Yeah, these are the large squads of infantry, and they will do well against the weaker deployment on the top side from Arturo. He has put another Panzer Grenadier with Panzerfaust on the top side to accompany those other troops. See if there's any other armor that he's placed down. I don't think so. Very much an infantry deployment from Arturo. No heavy armor, especially considering he's playing the 5th Panzer, is quite something. Over on the side of Ghaspar, definitely got more priority on the armor on the top side. I really, really like this map. I think it's really cool. There's like a bowl in the middle where you have like these hills all around. If I just zoom down, you kind of get the picture. There you go. It's just lowlands in the center, bit of a valley with AT guns and whatever being able to fire over each side. The town's kind of contested in the middle here. You can get into a position to kind of cover the reinforcing roads from transports, and that's the same from both sides. Maybe, actually, it looks a bit harder on the side of Arturo to cover this reinforcing road than it is for Ghaspar to cover this reinforcing road. So that's interesting. Something to watch out for in the future. Anyway, Cobra's going to come in there. I think that managed to destroy a transport here. Looks like it was just a flamer unit or something, so nothing terribly important. But that's the Pak 36 out in the open. These Cobras do have some pretty good strafing capability with the two 50 cals and the 37mm cannon ready. They also have the 4 30 cals in the wings, but that's less important. The cannon and the 50 cal are the things that do damage. So strafes away that AT gun, removes any form of anti-tank on that top side of the map, other than the Panzer guns with Panzer Faust, which at close range can kill Shermans very quickly, but will struggle to range, of course. Cobra's going to be hitting that MG42. These MG42s, they are going to be hard to kill in cover like that, but the MG on the top side just got absolutely wrecked. Panzergrens are going to try and take the opportunity to mow down some Tanko Desaniki that are making a strong push on that top side. So far, it looks like Ghaspar has the initiative on the top side of the map, but Arturo is going to be bringing in the Panzer IV and the Tiger E Führer behind that. So this is going to get pretty ugly for these Shermans if they don't get close enough. Ideally, what I'd like to see here is Ghaspar get these Shermans up ASAP towards this town so that he can dictate close range engagements and look for side shots onto things like that Tiger. Because that's the main way you're going to defeat a Tiger, is a close range. He does have the Su-85 that may be able to pop that with an APCR shot, but Su-85s are unreliable at best. So Partisans here, these are the SVT DP squads that I was talking about. They are not particularly great. As you can see here, a 2-man flamethrower squad is just absolutely wrecking them. So that's going to give the center of the map to Arturo. I might actually cede this flag if he's unlucky, because this 45mm I don't think is close enough, especially if the Flammenwerfer keeps pushing through there. Currently 12 to 12, but that's going to make it slightly tip in favor of Arturo. Flammenwerfer's now pushing forwards. Looks like Arturo managed to get the better of Gaspar's Ognemachiki. 259s are going to rip to shreds the second one there. Really nice use of the 20mm autocannon at close range. These are recon vehicles that are fantastic for supporting infantry at close range, as long as you don't really bump into PTRDs. But up against the third, you're not really going to have many PTRDs to deal with in the early game, because generally when you're playing the third guard, you focus a lot on these partisan units that don't have those PTRDs. So this matchup with these sort of vehicles is really, really good for Arturo. And he's managed to isolate and surrender the squad on the top side. He's now going to isolate the unit in the bottom side and clean those up as well. And that gives him a huge advantage on the bottom side of the map here. Allows him to control all of this forest line and take that flag. So 14 to 10 now for Arturo. On the top side, we do see that, well, the armor's just disappeared. I looked away for 1 second and it's all gone. It looks like what's happened is the Tiger popped out here and ended up absolutely destroying both Shermans and the Su-85. If it killed the Su-85 first, then the Shermans wouldn't stand a chance. And that's going to be big problems for Ghaspar, because that was pretty much his concerted effort from the start of the game to the top side, and it's already been blunted. Ghaspar coming around with the Cobra is probably going to kill that Pak 36 if he can maintain line of sight. On the bottom side, Gaspar's trying to sneak some Avtos through here. Avtos at close range can kill these Flammenwerfers quite nicely. Oh, this Sherman's probably going to clean up these Flammenwerfer squads, although it's just got out of line of sight of that one. Oh, Panzergren's going to chew up some Avtos before they die to the Sherman, no doubt. There we go. See how quickly those Avtos just annihilated them. Very nice indeed. Shoot to kill. Now onto the 250-10. Pak 40 is going to force the M4 to fall back for the time being, but it does manage to kill off the 250-10, so that's nice. 259 finishes off the Avtos. Panzergrens do survive. 259 going to get sniped by the 45mm on the hill. This 45mm is in a really nice position. This Cobra is still flying around uncontested. No AA brought onto the field just yet to just prevent it from strafing it to begin with. I mean, 120mm would be enough to just stop this from flying about and really strafing stuff. Anyway, Partizan's coming in here. They are going to want to get a Molotov on top of this Flammenwerfer, but they are having troubles doing so at the moment because the Flammenwerfer's in heavy cover. The Partisans, they are not. So the Flammenwerfers have a pretty nice advantage there. Partisan just going to fall back for the time being, try and use their rifles to find the kill. This Flammenwerfer pushing through here has created a nice salient that's pushed the front line over the flag there. Just being cancelled out. Cobra's still freely flying, and 40mm has, Pack 40, sorry, has come in. Going to take out another Sherman there. So this top side is, yeah, not looking so hot now for Ghaspar. If this Tiger gets into a position to cover the reinforcing road, especially on the edge of the map here, it's going to be very difficult to flank it because it's side on to the map, and to the edge of the map, that is, and also can pretty much kill Shermans at close range anyway without much threat. So that's pretty nice. There is going to be, I guess, a unit of infantry dying there without unloading. So that's unfortunate for Arturo, but that M4 might pay the price for making that engagement, never mind. MG42 and the Pack 40 going to be instead taking out the 45mm. Cobra's coming in for the strafing run onto the Pack 40. Pack 40's already moved, so no effect on target there. Tanko Desaniki trying to find and get rid of the Flammenwerfer squad that is in the trees. You see how close range focused the 3rd Guards infantry is in the early game. So Tanko Desaniki, 8 submachine guns with Molotovs. Avtos, 10 submachine guns with an AT grenade. Then you have Partisans, which have 10 Mozins, 2 submachine guns with Molotovs. And the only long range squads that Ghaspar has is those Partisans with DPs. So until we reach Phase B, he's not really going to have any PTRDs to use, which are great for cleaning up these vehicles. Currently he's just relying on his Shermans, which aren't doing him a lot of favors anymore. As we see there, the Tiger E take out another Sherman. These Shermans really should not be on the edge of the trees here at all. Really, really bad position for them, because not only are they going to get spotted easily, but they should be grouped up. And if they're grouped up, they can make decent flanking maneuvers onto the Tiger. But at this range, quite simply, the Tiger's just going to pop them one by one. The Su-85 might have a good chance with an APCR shot. Yep, nice transmission damage. Another decent critical would be nice, but these Su-85s, they have really low rate of fire. You can see just how long that took to reload there. Does get the tracks broken. APCR shots are much more likely to crit than they are to kill. Transmission destroy from the Tiger E. Will the Su-85 finish the job? No, it won't. That's a bounce. That's pretty unlucky for the Su-85. And the Su-85 is going to go down. So that Tiger just popped 3 tanks on its own. Really, really nice job there. Now just sits there with the tracks broken. Pack 40 is going to pop another tank on the bottom side here. Is that the M4 there? Look at all of those burning wrecks. This is nasty. Arturo's just picking apart any armor that picking apart any armor that Ghaspar, sorry, brings onto the map. And that is massive. Huge disparity now, surely, in points. Or at least in like kills and deaths. Ghaspar can still make up for this since it's still relatively early in the game, but saying that, we just moved into Phase B and Arturo's going to pick up the income advantage. So now this is where things can get really ugly, because losing those tanks in the early game, those Shermans, isn't so much of an issue when you have the Vanguard deployment type to back you up. But at the same time, if you don't make enough of an advantage in the early game versus a balanced deck, then you're only going to be punished for the rest of the game, and that is exactly what's going to happen now. Panzer IV plus 2 MGs, well, that's the MG42 there, is going to engage the Partisan DPs. Then we have the Panzergrams with their 2 MG42s now engaging on this bottom side. Look at these Partisan just get ripped up in the open. Cobra's going to come in and strafe the Pack 40. There is now a Flak 43 on the field on the bottom side. That might possibly shoot down the Cobra, and it does, all on its lonesome. No veterancy. These things can be very, very strong indeed. So it looks like Arturo's finally decided to invest in this AA to shut down that Cobra strafing runs. Maybe a bit late in my opinion, especially on the top side. But there is also potential that he didn't have any AA to use in Phase A. He might be quite reliant on fighters and maybe didn't want to invest the 90 to 100 points or whatever it costs to bring in an ME-109. Not entirely sure what the fighters cost for ArturoDiaz. It'd probably be like 120 if it's ME-109 G6R4 or R4 G6, whatever the name is. Anyway, Panzer Grenadiers are going to be engaging these Partisans. When they are overwhelmed, the Panzer Grenadiers aren't going to do so well. The Partisan Comroti currently providing the extra veterancy here. There is a commander on the field. Unfortunately, we can't see the command network as we are watching this in the special viewer, but currently this commander back here, the Omsbun, is currently giving the extra veterancy to the Partisans through the Partisan Comroti. So that's allowed Ghaspar to clean up the center of the map and gain himself back another flag, which is a smart move, but he's still lacking the flag on the bottom side. The Panzer IV here sat on the crossroads, currently just defending that. This M4 can't even get close. If it does, Pack 40 engages, things go bad. Now in the town, looks like Arturo's going to try and make a little bit of a move. It's going to be very difficult to dislodge 3 units of flamers dug in like this, because as soon as they get close, yes, the flamers will be able to like trade napalm, but it's more likely that the Flammenwerfer is going to die than the Ognjemachiki, since the Ognjemachiki are already in cover. Let's see what happens. And especially if they don't stop in time, that Flammenwerfer is dead. Now the main thing here is, does Ghaspar allow the engagements to continue at range? Because if he does, then the Panzergrens will clean them up. Because now those have revealed themselves, they're going to be shown for a little while. Pack 40 is engaging, Pack 36 also engaging there as well. Tiger's rolling up. Oh, this is going to be deadly on this road. Nasty stuff. Panzer IV has moved up to the top side, so not getting engaged at the moment. Some Abtos have moved through in the center. Not too much else happening on the top side. Just a little bit of an advance from Arturo there with his infantry. Let's keep an eye on this bottom side engagement as the Tiger rolls up. Is that going to be able to get into line of sight? Currently it's edging its way forwards. The line of sight is currently being cut every time it moves, because this is currently reversing. Maybe the Pack 40 will just pick up the kill. Who knows? Here we go. Oh, that is a nasty, nasty hit. There's this too, looking to reply with an AP shot, but likely to bounce at this range. That is 125mm of armor versus 120mm of penetration at a range of roughly 1,700 to 1,800 meters. So this 2 is going to have limited penetration at best. Can still crit, of course, but the Tiger's going to win that engagement over time. Buckwolf 190 going to come in and deal with this 45mm AT gun on top of the hill. Looks like Arturo's also managed to win the town engagement with his Panzer Grenadiers. It looks like those flamethrowers were just in the end completely outnumbered. So that's going to open up the town, give Arturo a 15-9 lead. There are 2 Panzergrens rolling into the top side. We have a little group of Shermans moving up, since the Tiger here has been dealt with. That's now dead. Looks like that was potentially taken out by the ZIS-2. So Ghaspar maybe going to make a little bit of a push here. But no doubt that will be soon replaced. Arturo bringing in another Tiger at the back side of the map. ZIS-2 died on the bottom side. These 2 Panzer Grenadiers did push up. They are currently on return fire, so they don't get revealed by firing onto the enemy. But there is the Dossor squad here, so the M4's got that covered. Now, that's actually quite a nice place for the M4. Deeper into cover here is where you want to have like the M4 cover your front from. Then you can kind of build up more Shermans behind it, maybe place some smoke down and go for a play onto something like a Tiger if you need to. But keeping them on the edge is one way to get them killed, especially against superior armor. We have a Grilla on the field. This is not something I've seen too often. That's going to take a shot at the Siedlce and actually kills it in one shot. Very nice indeed. That was Arturo using a fire position command to take that out. Really, really good job. He does trade the Grela, which isn't that cost effective, but really nice to see that actually used with the fire position command. Smart stuff for sure. Alright, is that going to be the like a unit of infantry killed there before they unloaded? I didn't quite spot that, but either way, one Avto here is going to get ripped to pieces by the two MG42s. You see the Panzer IV moving here to kind of cover the approach into the valley. But currently, 7 minutes until Arturo defeats Ghaspar, 15-9 in flags. Tiger's on its way. If that could sit at the edge of this town, roughly here, it'd be in such a good position to not only protect the spawn road, but engage anything that's on the left. Because if it takes a crit or gets forced to fall back for whatever reason, it will just fall back into the houses. So yeah, be nice and easy to take care of. Now another thing that Arturo has done here, this is good to point out, he's marked this AT gun with an attack marker so that he can drop bombs onto it with a fire position command. Really, really smart there. Just reminding himself the position of that AT gun so that if it hasn't moved already, then he can bomb it. And it looks like Ghaspar just realized that was going to happen too late. So you can get that out of there and the Siedlce goes down. Really, really good job. And if your bombers get kills and you can speak German, he will tell you if he got a kill or not, pretty much, or if he was hit, if he basically hit a target. The bombers do say in their language whether or not they missed or not. That's good to know. Either way, Panzer Grenadier is going to get bombed. Pioneers, however, a bit too close for comfort for these partisans. That's going to be just a simple grenade kill there for the Pioneers. Yep, they are gone. Partisan Conrotti might be able to put up a little bit of a fight, but will also get overrun. And then the Siedlce does not have any HE, so that's going to die as well. Looks like the Sherman here, again, picked off on the edge of the trees. This is why you want to keep them further back. Because now that second Sherman is probably going to die. Just sat in the back garden here. Look at that. What a nasty position. Doesn't look like Gaspar's going to allow that to continue, which is good. Anyway, Panzergrens come through, kill off the Siedlce whilst the Pioneers deal with the Conrotti. And that's going to put a lot of pressure towards that flag, push it to 16-8. Now, as this continues to move through the game now, we're going to move into Phase C, where there is a 60-point difference in income between Ghaspar and Arturo. And that is going to be a massive hill to climb for Ghaspar to come back at this point in the game. So, unfortunately, it does look like this game is pretty much in the bag for Arturo. But that doesn't stop Ghaspar from trying to make some plays here. He is moving up with a lot of 3-star infantry. He's got his Superti, 3 of those, Avtos and Partisans, and they are going to rip up the Panzergrens that have no veterancy for sure. Partisan Conrotti providing that extra veterancy. Tiger E coming down the main road is going to take out the Sherman that's on the edge of the tree line once again. And yeah, Gaspar's sort of micromanagement of his armor, I think, has been what sealed the deal here for Arturo. Now, of course, there is always going to be that massive disparity between Tigers and Shermans, but using your armor at close range plus artillery to pin down things like Tigers, especially Tigers that are isolated on their own, is quite feasible. So it's a shame we haven't even seen a single artillery piece in this game, which is quite something. Either way, Focke-Wulf 190 going to be coming in. There's 2 lags here also coming in. This one's going to be going for the bombing strike, I guess, onto the Panzergrens. I think the Panzergrens that they were aiming at died, so they didn't actually drop their payload. Actually, possibly Ghaspar told them to target the Focke-Wulf instead, and has led them over Arturo's AA. ME410 going to be coming in to shoot that down. Focke-Wulf 190 does get the kill onto the machine gun. M17 is going to force that back as well. 2 units of Panzergrenadiers in the open here. Not a very nice place for them to be at all. Those Grenadiers surely going to go down. Panzergrenadiers there. Those SVTs and DPs, when they have a lot of veterancy and they're in heavy cover versus units that aren't, you've pretty scary place to be for those Panzergrenadiers. 2 minutes and 14 seconds left for Arturo to win this game. Looks like he's just holding back on this bottom side. He has the Tiger covering the road here. He's got the Tiger covering the road on the top side. And then he's just got Tigers sort of in between. This Tiger's in a bit of a precarious position. But if it can get to the edge of these trees, then it could likely cover this road. And also basically the whole valley. Which would be really nice. Provide support for Arturo's infantry to push forwards. Now these Avtos are getting pretty close. Looks like the Lag's going to try and bomb them. Those bombs really whiffed. They hit the Pioneers and not the Panzergrenadiers. Let's see how this goes. Those Avtos are likely just going to get pinned, I reckon. Quite quickly, yeah. Maybe just killed off. These Avtos, though, are they charging the Tiger? They are. Look at them go. The Soviet charge. Can they take down a Tiger? Will Arturo let him? Oh no, has the order been changed? Come on Avtos. Come on Avtos, you can do it. No! No! They got surrendered. The Tiger managed to get a shot off and the Avtos go down. That is that is devastating for Ghaspar. Just to get one up on Arturo would have been very, very nice. He has killed one Tiger with the Ziz dudes, but yeah, that is unfortunate to say the least. Bit of, again, micromanagement there. Gonna make that kill very hard to get. Su-85 moving up into the light cover here is actually a really good position for it. To hit a Tiger that would be sat on the edge. As he can sneak that forwards, fire an APCR shot, reverse to reload. That's generally how you want to use slow reloading units like this. It's only got 5 round per minute rate of fire. So you want to allow it to fire, reverse it into cover to reload, then move it back out once it's got its stealth back. Because by firing, units do lose their stealth for a certain amount of time, so you do want to wait out that timer before you push back forwards. Now, I can't tell you exactly what the timer is, but it varies based on, I think, how much stealth a unit has. Anyway, 259 does get forced back. It looks like the Avtos there managed to throw an AT grenade, but it didn't kill. Lag 3, gonna bomb the Panzergrenadiers. They are pinned down. M4 is currently engaging that. Tiger's moving to engage the Sherman. 20 seconds left. Will the Tiger get the kill? We'll soon find out. ME410 going to be trying to engage the Lag 3 here. Not going to be able to get onto its target. Will the Tiger get the kill before the end of the game? No, it will not. Saved by the bell. 24 minutes, 49 seconds. Arturo takes the victory against Ghaspar. And yeah, that mainly came down to armor management and also just in general, the lack of value that Ghaspar got out of his units in the early game. And therefore, he was using his Vanguard deployment to make up for that. But then as soon as he didn't have his Vanguard deployment anymore, Arturo took the lead quite dramatically. And throughout that game, like, severely unbalanced towards the end towards Arturo because of the balanced deployment type and also the fact that he's playing the 5th Panzer with, of course, the Panzers, the Tigers, sorry, and Panthers available. So there we go. Let's have a look at these kills. Not too much of value coming out of Ghaspar here. This Siperli getting plenty of kills is nice. This is good value, of course. But in the early game, most units trading 1 for 1 and really not picking off units of much value. So, for example, Sherman killing a Flammenwerfer squad is not good. Su-85 killed an MG-42. You know, those kind of kills are not really good enough for those kind of units. Whereas if you look at this Tiger I Fiora that came in on the side of Arturo, this cleaned house on the top side massively. It took out 2 Su-85s and 3 Shermans. The Panzer IV with 3-star veteran, see there, these are really, really hard to deal with sometimes. These Panzer IVs, they can snapshot you to oblivion. But 2 Shermans going to be going down to that. And just those kills, like those Shermans and Su-85 kills in the early game, are pretty much enough to negate the advantage that you get with the Vanguard deployment type. So the Vanguard deployment type gives you a 500-point advantage in Phase A over the 10 minutes. And so I don't know if those kills add up to exactly that or a bit more, but a bit less, but it's enough, you know, to try to take away the momentum that the Vanguard would rely on in the early game. These Focke-Wulf 190s, really good use of that. Fantastic micro actually from Arturo, using the fire position command from the Grilla and also the fire position from the Focke-Wulf 190 with the attack marker beacon. Really, really nice. You couldn't see the attack marker beacon in the replay because it was on the special viewer, but really, really good stuff to point out because it's something that you guys should try and do yourselves if you're playing. Like if you spot something that's annoying, like an AT gun or something, put an attack marker on it. Even if you're in a team game, it may look like you're asking for help or something, but it's just really good. I mean, you can always do like the text one where you type in AT and then just click a ping on it so that you remember where it is and you remember to like bomb it or arty it or whatever. One thing that I would have liked to have seen out of Ghaspar, I think to improve his play a little bit, would have been smoke. Some mortars for that would have been really nice to allow him to close the range onto Tigers and also just give his infantry a better chance at close range, because in the early game for the third guards, you're definitely reliant on the partisans, the tankos. Well, he had tankos and avtos, which is very rare. Normally you have like one or the other. But partisans, tankos, avtos, and then the partisans with DP, none of those have PTRDs. So you need to keep them covered from vehicles at range. Otherwise, you're just going to get chewed up. And that's exactly what happened, especially with like the 259s coming in. Arturo made good use of his recon vehicles in the early game, especially on the bottom side, to take that ground very quickly and secure that crossroads. So nicely done for sure. But Ghaspar gave it a good go. He had a nice strategy, I feel, like focusing his armor and his infantry on that top side early was definitely important to try and gain an advantage somewhere on the map. Like concentrating somewhere is definitely important. But yeah, it just wasn't executed properly, so it's unfortunate. Either way, Arturo is going to win, move on to the next round, and that's it from me. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.